Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. Hope you're all doing great. Hope you're having a good week so far, and welcome to your new update this morning on Bitcoin. We're going through a full update, and finally, luckily, we are getting some structure. All right. So the last couple of days, honestly, I struggled a little bit with finding structure and finding some sort of a the correct bias to have, I suppose. In what direction is most likely. And I told you, well, it depends a lot on the fundamentals, and that is still true. But now at least we also know some levels to look at and some levels to actually focus on and say, all right, well, within those levels, we are looking a little bit more bullish or we are looking a little bit more bearish. And at this point of time, I would argue we are looking a little bit more bullish, but I'll explain that in this video as well. And first of all, like I said in my previous videos, obviously the fundamentals do still matter, right? I mean, it does still matter what happens, and it does still matter what headlines are going to pop out. But if you take a look at the equities right now, for example, you can see first of all that the S&P 500 has recovered fairly well. Yesterday morning we were pushing down, and that also pushed down Bitcoin. But equities got a good reaction. Bitcoin got a good reaction as well. I'll show you that in a moment. At the same point of time, the volatility index is still, elevated, but it's quite significantly lower than yesterday. And the Russell 2000, which is risky assets, risky stocks, is rallying as well. So this all looks pretty good. That makes me fundamentally optimistic, while also fundamentally being cautious about whatever is going to happen. Mainly between China and the United States, but maybe also with the situation in Gaza. I see that, without getting into the politics, I see that as a situation in the world that could definitely, turn sour, so to speak. But okay, so like I said, yesterday Bitcoin got a pretty good reaction. That is, while I delete these scribbles right here, that is this reaction we had during the US Open with that spike down. You can see we left the point of control at the spike, which means it's a bit of a liquidation spike, which is good. It was high volume as well, and it was backed with fundamentals. We saw the S&P 500 rallying from there as well. So that's good news, right? But what you can see right now mostly is that we are consolidating, or we have created a value area between 114,000 and 110,000. That's the main area to look at. All right. And at this point of time, even though we are subject to whatever happens with the news, as to which one of those two levels is going to break, and we have a lot of resistance as well, a little bit higher towards 116,000, right? So that makes it quite difficult to get a clean breakout above 114,000. Even though that's the case, I would argue the price action so far has been relatively positive for Bitcoin. And to tell you why I think that, I think first of all, it's good to zoom out on Bitcoin. And if you zoom out on Bitcoin right here, you can see that on the 3-day time frame, we are still respecting the uptrend, and we are at a major support level. And we have held that throughout all the turmoil that we had in the last week. And I think it's also good to not forget how strong we were, for example, at the first week of October. A lot of bullish momentum there, right? And a lot of volume as well. And now after the recovery we've seen so far on Friday, we've had periods of time with a lot of volume as well, while buying. And then outside of that, when we're talking about this range that we are in, right? So this is the range. You can see we're kind of compressing, or at least we're spending most time here at the top of the range so far. A lot of volume spent there as well. And we are respecting this level right here, around 112,000, which is the value area low of all the price action since July, and the point of control. And since we are sitting on top of that in combination with the high time frame structure right here, I would say it's a little bit more likely we're going to get a bullish breakout, but ultimately, I think that's confirmed by the fundamentals. So that is something I'll keep you updated on. For now, I think that's what you need to know regarding Bitcoin, the current situation, and the most likely expectation. If you do have any questions, let me know down in the comments. But for now, thank you for watching. Take care, and bye.